Good morning, traders. It's Tuesday, February the 18th. Taking a look at the equities chart, you can see here we got the SP 500 daily chart, and more or less we had the market correct back here. We ended up getting long, playing a long SSO. The stock market rallied almost 4%. We ended up using a 2 times ETF to get about 6.5% return on the play. And then we played bonds for a 3% move in bonds, and we were back long equities with a small position in bonds. And right now, equities continue to climb up this 5-day moving average. They've kind of rallied, they consolidated, they've rallied, they're consolidated. They're still consolidating in this potential sideways pattern right here. We're holding up at the 5-day moving average. Today could be an important day. We should see the market recover and hold the 5-day. Hopefully this week. If it does, we should see a pop and continue to move up. But in pre-market, we are seeing a little bit of weakness. Equities down about 0.4%, NASDAQ down 0.5%. We're seeing money move into the safe havens today. So money's coming out of stocks, and a big part of the equities market coming down is Apple. Apple announced that they're having some issues. They're downgrading their sales because of factories closing down in China on them. More or less, if we take a look over at bonds, bonds are having a nice pop today. You can see we've really started to move to the upside. If we were to just look at the price action, we've got this bullish wedge through here. This pennant formation, strong rally up, and we were talking about this last week. It should resolve to the upside. And so today we're starting to see a nice move. We've broken these candle highs, and now we're testing this high here, which is really significant. And we could be off to the races for bonds to continue to move up. And we are long bonds with the TLT ETF. Also, we're seeing gold, silver move up. If we look at gold, it's up 0.3%, having a nice up day again. We're up threatening these highs. Every time we've seen the market get to this height, this level in the market, we've seen price sell off. It got back up here before, sold off, got back up here before, and sold off. I tagged it again over here and sold off. So we're back up to this level, and we'll see if the market can hold above here. If it can hold above here, that'll be a very bullish sign. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets a little bouncy and choppy in here for a couple days, maybe this week, but overall, we're back up to this level, and there's some pretty good volume today, so we're getting close to a potential breakout. Again, this is a strong run. This is a big consolidation, and the bigger the pattern, the bigger the move. So there's some pretty big upside potential for gold to really take off. And if that happens, we're going to see gold miners do the same. If we look at gold miners, they've had a rally. They've been consolidating. In pre-market, they were trading up fairly significant. They pulled back a little bit, but overall, they're trading up about 41, up near the highs of this previous session. So overall, if they can get some traction today, we could really start to see it break higher and start to run. But overall, gold miners are still kind of stuck in this pennant formation. We've got these highs, we've got these lows, and it's kind of ping-ponging around getting into the apex. Once it starts to break out in either direction, it could be a fairly significant move. A downside move, which we've talked about, would be a flush out, and it would make for a nice A, B, C correction, which this level breaking down here and also a break of this low or this low over here would create a big flush out, and that would be a nice ABC correction where the market could be ready for a big rally to the upside. Now, if this pattern holds here and we resolve to the upside, we're going to have a big rally to the upside as well. So we'll just see which way things go. We are long gold miner juniors, and they're trading higher this morning, but we need to break above this falling trend line for some big buyers to start stepping in and running the prices up. If we look at silver, it's up 1.1% this morning, having a nice pop, but again, same type of pattern, big rally, consolidation, bull flag formation, and again, it's still just flagging out, and they should resolve to the upside in due time. And that's the same with silver miners. Now, if we take a look at natural gas finally getting that exhaustion pop. In the market, it's up almost 6% this morning, and it's tagging this 20-day moving average. We've seen it tag the 20-day moving average a couple times. It's followed by some big selling. Overall, I feel as though this could be the start of a bottoming formation starting, one that we've been looking and waiting for a while. And this could be, if we start to see it flag sideways here, then it could be an opportunity for us to stick our toe in the water and get in for one of these pops and these rallies back up to the previous breakdown zone up that by this green line, 250, 255 area. So there's some good potential there, but it's still struggling. It's just starting to break some previous pivot highs. It's struggling at the 20-day moving average. We'll see what kind of consolidation it has, if it has one here going forward. Looking at crude, down 2% this morning. Again, it's chopping around in this sideways pattern that we talked about last week, where more or less the highs and the lows is kind of contained in this range. Whichever way it breaks, it's probably going to have a fairly significant move. Longer term, when we look back here, this is a really significant pivot low or resistance area on the chart. If we were to just, let me grab a tool here. This is the area where we've got some pretty significant support. These were pivot lows in the market, and it's trading down below those and kind of oscillating through those at this moment. So right now we're stuck in this kind of range right here. Whichever way it breaks from this consolidation could continue to chop around. Who knows, could play out for weeks still, or it could start to break out to either direction this week. But whichever way it breaks, it's going to have some fairly significant move. Generally, just the height of the volatility in that range. If you were to just take that box, you can measure to the upside. It gives you the upside momentum, which would bring us to this long-term blue resistance area. It's also a level where we had a little hiccup here between a couple days. We had pivot low right through the middle of this range here. And it goes back in time to be a fairly significant pivot zone. If this breaks to the downside, then we're going down that same amount to roughly $44, $45 a barrel. So it's got some pretty good momentum behind it. If it breaks out, it should have a very quick surge of a few dollars there to hit that target, those targets. Let's take a quick look over at the US dollar index. US dollar has been on a tear. That's one of the reasons why metals have been trading sideways. The fact that they've been holding up so strong is a good sign. Actually, we've been seeing the dollar rally. The dollar is up big again today. We're even seeing metals up with the dollar. So really, money is flowing into the safe havens, including the dollar. The dollar has been seen as a safe haven for quite some time. If we zoom way back here, you can see money has been piling into the dollar for really the last 1-2 years. It's been moving in. Other currencies have been falling their value. It's just been tumbling. So money is now moving into dollar and metals, and the fact that they're moving up together is a very good sign, because I do feel as though when the dollar does trade sideways or pull back, it's going to just give gold that kind of supercharged move to the upside. So overall, dollar up again today. Safe havens are up today. We are long gold miners and bonds, so we are getting a piece of that while the equities market is pulling back today. And we'll just keep our eyes on what the overall momentum is doing. That's it for now. Talk to you in a bit. Bye-bye.